Hello, I'm Deborah Sword.
Hi, I'm Tyson Bankert.
Tyson, we were talking about the gap
The
um,
gap, yes.
in skills.
Mhm.
So the conflict gap is between whatever it is you're facing, either a person you're afraid of or a
Mhm.
conflict that you can't manage.
Mhm.
But it's a gap between what you're facing and the skills that you feel you have that
You're right.
equip you to face that particular situation. And the fewer skills you have or feel you have, the fewer resources, the fewer tools you have for facing it. That's the gap. But how do you analyze that gap? How do you figure out what that gap is, what it means, and how you find the tools to deal with it?
Right. I mean, shameless plug here, but watching Owner's Manual might help. But also, I think it's realizing that you don't have certain skills
Yeah.
to actually go into that conflict. I think we all face different conflicts every day, and we try and find ways to navigate and manage it. And oftentimes it might be skills that are really negative for us. It could be screaming, it could be yelling, it could be violence, it could be, withdrawing. It could be all kinds of things that we think there's a gap here that needs to be filled. I'm going to try and fill it. And really, it's very difficult ways to actually make cause the conflict even further.
Yeah. And I hear you with that list of negative ways. That's the pattern that you've
Right.
defaulted to. This is what you've always done and it's familiar. So you keep doing it. And the question is, how do I find a different way that's better, that improves the
Hmm.
quality of my relationships? And I just want to emphasize that this is nobody's fault.
Totally. Yeah.
This is a biological need,
Hmm.
and it's your brain trying to keep you safe. You see conflict, it's a threat, you react. That is you trying to respond in a way to survive.
Hmm.
Even uh, competent people who have lots of personal skills in a meeting could suddenly freeze when somebody
Hmm.
drops uh, an aggression that nobody expected.
Hmm.
And that's just the brain trying to keep you safe. You're suddenly frozen. You don't know what to say.
And we'll take sometimes an opportunity for someone to invite the awareness that, hey, is there a different way, a creative way that we can start to manage this conflict? Like, hey, actually, I don't like when you yell at me, and it makes me feel these things. Can we have a different response, right? And then there's an opportunity to then reconsider. Maybe there are some new tools that I need to think about.
And sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you say, I don't know what to say right now. You're yelling at me and I'm feeling paralyzed. And the other person says, that's your problem, not mine.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there's a range. The first is I have this gap.
Yes, that
This
ranges. Yeah.
this is what I'm familiar with. It isn't working for me
Hmm.
anymore. I want to do something different. My brain is hijacking me,
Hmm.
and I recognize that that is designed to keep you safe, to survive
Hmm.
a threat, but it's not a threat like the olden days where you had shotguns at dawn in a duel.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what do you do when you're under pressure? Your brain is in survival mode. Uh, you don't feel you have the skills to manage it. What do you do then?
I think it's also about we talked about this a couple weeks about practice, right? And like how can you start to practice these skills in ways that do feel safe for you? So when you are in that moment, that embodied moment of, I want to react, I want to fill the gap, you can do it in ways that feel based on how you practiced. Calm, assured, yeah.
And that is thinking about how you think. When you recognize that you've got this gap,
Hmm.
and first of all, you have a vision of how you want to be, which isn't that aggressive or that freeze, whatever it is you're doing
Hmm.
now. This is how you want to be. How do you practice that when you're calm? Well, you assess the skill level you have now, analyze the conflicts that you're facing, and ask how am I going to apply the skills, and then practice that. But it all comes back to practice when you're calm.
I think about when we are able to be in the conditions to understand there's a gap I'm feeling. I have some competency skills that I can try and rely on. And, you're being able to feel much more confident about being able to fill that gap. And I think to your point about the brain feeling like part of that practice is helping reduce the anxiety or the fear that you're having because you know that you've been here before. Oh, it's not as scary. Or oh, I do have that skill that I can share. I have been trying. I'm trying to get there. And I think that also allows for especially if you're in conflict with another person, to also be able to invite them in as well, saying, "Oh, you also can practice. Like you're responding. Maybe they're also going to be more calmer. Maybe they also are going to take some time, take a breath before." And so I think it really helps for both people to come to hopefully a new way.
Oh, that would be great. And if the other person doesn't want to, it doesn't, but
Yeah.
it doesn't stop you. And as you respond differently, the other person is being given no choice but to respond differently because you're not putting up the same resistance that you were. You are practicing your conflict competence. And all of this that we've been talking about is part of conflict analysis. You are analyzing your skills gap. Thank you, Tyson.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. We hope you'll subscribe to our podcast, like it, share it, leave a comment, ask a question. We love to hear from you. Thank you.